Namaste. Hi. What does it mean energetically when we breathe through a diaphragm or the diaphragmatic breathing and apply the pattern in the practice of pranayamas or breath regulation exercises such as Samadhi, Viloma, Ujjayi breath, Nadishodhana, complete yogic breath, or even the advanced Bhastrika breath? If we breathe healthily, if we breathe through our lungs fully, it happens involuntarily. So our diaphragm descends to make room for the lungs to open. And as the diaphragm descends, the belly just expands. The abdominal cavity expands to make room for the diaphragm descending to the abdominal compartment. So we don't have to force the belly to inflate and expand when we breathe. Just breathe normally, healthily. Allow the sensation to rise. So you're nourishing the spine from the base to the top of the spine, and it rises. It's not pushing downwards. It's not bulging forward. It's something which is expansive, opening up and ascending. Like that. Right. So what causes this external manifestation of abdominal walls, at least the external structure, to move away from the center line? Right. It's not the air pushing downwards or the sensation pushing downwards. Simply, it's the reaction of your belly as the diaphragm descends, thus it goes forward. Since the diaphragm goes to the abdominal compartment, and as the diaphragm descends, definitely the lungs expand. So you open, you expand. But it's not the action which leads the breath. It's not you doing it for the breath. It's the breath doing it for you. Something like that. So healthily, you don't have to think about this. Just breathe. All right. Now, when we apply that in the pranayama, it could be a bit tricky, right? Because in the practice of pranayama, especially the advanced ones, Ujjayi, example, and Bhastrika, you don't want the pressure of the breath to end up hurting your vital organs of the heart and the lungs. Because normally in the practice of pranayama, we either lengthen the duration of the inspiring or the expiring, or retain the pattern. You may retain the inhalation, you may retain the exhalation. Right. But the concept of breathing through the diaphragm stays. Right. Let's take a look at Bhastrika, because the Bhastrika is quite tricky to master, and if we are caught up with the external structure of it, we might end up doing ourselves more harm than good. It could cause hyperventilation if you don't use the bandhas, which could hurt the organs of the heart and the lungs and could damage your nervous system. Right? It could cause lower back injuries or make your hips heavy if you don't do it properly. Right? Even the Ujjayi breath, actually. So what makes the practice of this advanced breath regulation exercises, even the basic ones, a specialized pattern of breathing? It's the bandhas. So we just breathe healthily, normally, but apply the bandhas when we practice pranayama. That's why we keep it safe as we alter the normal functions of the breath. Because normally just inhale, just exhale, right? And it goes organic. Our body is so intelligent, it will just make room for the energy to rise if we breathe healthily, generally, of course. But when we practice pranayama, we control the pattern, we control the flow. The bandhas make it safe and meaningful. In the Bhastrika Pranayama, for example, it's called the bellows breath. Like you're blowing the air to the inner compartments, the energetic system, to awaken the dormant Kundalini. That's one of the energetic aims of the Bhastrika, to stimulate the pathways of the Kundalini, which is predominantly in the head region, right here. Right. So in the Bhastrika Pranayama, we inspire the breath powerfully, we inhale it energetically, allow the lungs to expand the process, similar to your diaphragmatic breathing. But you don't press, you don't push the sensation downwards in an attempt to expand the belly. Right? Because what's happening inside really is the opposite. As you inspire the breath, following the diaphragmatic breathing, you will feel it rise even from the inside. Right. So the external structure, let me show you a quick demonstration. Right. As we inspire, the outer structure of the belly will open up as a byproduct of your lung or your diaphragm descending and your lungs expanding. It's natural. But don't bulge it forward in an attempt to manifest the inflating of the belly region. Just breathe normally. But engage the bandhas inside. Alright, so what is the role of the bandhas now? The role of the bandhas is to narrow the pathway of the energy and to lift the sensation of the energy upwards. So even if the outer structure outside opens up away from the midline, inside everything hugs back to the spine, belly to spine. So normally your teacher will tell you, hug your belly to spine, hug your belly to spine. Of course, depending on the element at hand. Some elements in yoga you really need to make even the outer structure narrow. But generally inside is what's more important. Inhale, expanding, external body opens. But inside, the walls of the abdomen move closer to the spine. You might see my belly expand, open, but inside it goes narrow. Like there are two actions happening simultaneously in one big action. So as you breathe in, as you inspire the energy, the outer body opens, especially here, but you don't force it, let it just open with the breath. But inside, the bandhas collect the sensation, narrow the pathway, the sushumna, and allow the sensation of the breath to rise. The only difference is, you're doing and controlling some forms of regulation of the length, the duration maybe of the retention, but the pattern, the basic pattern of the diaphragmatic breathing stays. And in the practice of Bhastrika, it doesn't literally mean you're blowing the air down to the hips. It means you blow the energy to stimulate and lighten up the pathways of your energy, the nadis, which is ever-present, expansive inside the body. It's not confined to the hips. So when you inhale to the Bhastrika, you brighten up your whole system. You expand the energy to stimulate and lighten up your nadis. And together with that brightening and igniting of our astral system, the bandhas lift the Kundalini energy up. So inside, it goes narrow, and to make room for the Kundalini to ascend through the Sushumna. But externally, you shine bright. You blow your energy to expand you. That's why it's so powerful in the meditation process, because it really illuminates your aura. And not only that, for healing as well, because you will be brimming with this electrical force after the Bhastrika Pranayama for healing sessions, for energy channeling. So without the bandhas, this is quite tricky to master, because you need to work the bandhas inside while you perform the healthy way of breathing, and at the same time, with regulating the duration and the length, you brighten up your astral system. Now, definitely you have to exhale. Right? In the Bhastrika Pranayama, we exhale forcefully through nostrils, like that. Yeah, breathing in, exhale. So you notice my whole body expands as I inhale, and when I exhale, I go narrow and deep. All right. So inside, the role of the bandhas in the exhalation is you confine the pathways even more, so you don't drop the energy back to the head. So inside, you keep rising the energy up as you brighten your astral system. Alright, so as you do the repetition, depending on the duration, the repetition, the number of repetitions your teacher will prescribe to you, the concept is the same. Yeah? As you inspire the breath to brighten your chakras, to brighten your nadis, to brighten your whole astral and the energetic system, the bandhas inside, especially the Uddiyana bandha, directs the energy to rise up wherever you want it to dwell, to rest, either in the heart or in the brain inside. Yes, so Bhastrika is a spiritual practice really. It's a beautiful and generally safe practice if you do it properly. Without the bandhas and you practice this could cause injury. Because if we are just too caught up with the external manifestations and even what's written in the books, yeah, it's not enough really. The secrets, yeah, is really between the lines or even between the letters of the words. And you can only gain that when you practice. See you next time. Namaste.